What is going on, everybody? I'm back making another video, and in today's video, I've been talking with some pros and also just putting some hours into the game to get better, and I came up with a top 10 tips and tricks so that you guys can become pros in this game. And once you get the hang of all of these tricks, it'll literally just make the game 1,000 times easier, and then you can start getting really good. I'm gonna just let myself die real quick so that I can just go over all these tips and tricks I'm gonna put on AFK. So I'm gonna start off with the top 10, and then I'm gonna play some games and give you guys some other smaller tips that you kind of have to see in game to really understand. But yeah, starting off with number 1, you're gonna want to block before the ball gets to you. And the most asked question when it comes to this game is, how does your block reset so quick? Mine takes a full second to reset. The block only takes a second to reset if you block without hitting the ball. So if you just block for no reason out of nowhere and the ball's not coming for you, it's going to take a full second for your block to reset. But your block resets instantly when you hit the ball. That's why people are able to hit the ball back and forth super fast, because when you actually hit the ball, you get your block back instantly. That's why it's really useful to use abilities that can bait out people's block, such as pull. You can pull the ball back to you and then hit it right back at them, but they thought the ball was going to them, so they blocked early. So that's the first tip. You want to block before the ball gets to you. You can actually block like almost a full second before the ball gets to you and it'll still work. And yes, your block instantly resets if you hit the ball. So tip number 2 is you're going to want to use a good ability. I was just talking about pull because you can use pull to bait out someone's block, and if they block without hitting the ball, then it's going to take a full second for their block to reset. So if you pull the ball towards you when they're about to hit it and then you hit it right back at them, they won't have their block in time. So you'll obviously just win that fight. So a lot of other really good abilities are like force field. If the ball's coming at you and you activate your force field, it'll just instantly go back to somebody else. So it's like an unlimited block for however long your force field lasts. And it says weaker during standoff, but if you get right in someone's face with force field and it just keeps hitting right back at them super fast, it can definitely catch people off guard and you can get an easy win. Another ability that's really good that a lot of people don't know about is wind cloak, because it makes you super fast and have a huge jump boost for a while. So you can just run around people and hit the ball into their back, or you can jump really high in the air and go way off to the side of someone and hit the ball and they won't see it coming. So I can do a totally separate video on the best abilities. I could go into all the abilities and which ones are good for what reasons, but the number 2 tip is just use a good ability. If you want my recommendation, I would say force field, invisibility, wind cloak, raging deflect, pull, and rapture. Those are probably my top 6 in no particular order. They're all pretty good. And then for the third tip is you're going to want to aim the ball up for some of your hits. You can have the ball coming at you and hit you in the back, but as long as you swing, you don't have to be looking at the ball to block it. So if you see the ball coming at you, you can literally just turn backwards and hit it at someone behind you, or you can just shoot your camera up in the air and still block at around the same time. And remember the first tip, block before the ball gets to you. You can block like almost a second before the ball hits you and your block will still work. Tip number 4 is stay away from people. I see people die all the time because they're standing right next to someone and then that person hits the ball and it goes to the person right next to them. So if you're standing near people and they hit the ball and it goes at you, you're going to have 0 time to react. Tip number 5 is don't stand in the middle either. You want to stay away from people and stay near the edges. I've literally stood in the middle before, and right after somebody died, the ball spawned, obviously in the middle where it always spawns, but the ball was coming at me. So the ball literally just spawned inside my head and I instantly died. So don't stand in the middle. Tip number 6 is to join the group, get your group awards, and also use codes and do your quests, because obviously you need money to get good skills or abilities and upgrade them. So make sure you join the group, do your quest, and enter codes. If you guys don't know where codes is, just hit extra up here. Here's the codes. And I'll just give you guys some free codes. 500k, that'll give you some money. 10k followers. I think that might give you a sword or something. It actually doesn't say what it gives. Oh, that code's expired. Okay, so fortune. Let's try this code. Oh, expired. And then hot dog 10k. I think that might have given me a hot dog sword or something. I don't know. But yeah, do your codes, quests, and join the group. Free coins, no reason not to do it. Tip number 7 is don't back away from the ball, especially when it's coming at you really slowly. Because I see people backing away from the ball when it's coming at them, and then they'll swing too early, and then the ball will just hit them, and they're waiting on their block to reset, so obviously they just die. So especially when the ball's going slow, don't back away from it. Just stand still or even run into it if you got the timing correctly. Also use shift lock, because when you're using shift lock, you can press mouse 1 to block and mouse 2 for your ability, which is left click and right click. You definitely want to be using mouse 1 and mouse 2 to block and use your ability instead of pressing F and Q, because you need F to run to the right. You need your pointer finger that presses D to run to the right, so you don't want to be taking your finger off of that button to press F. And you also need your ring finger to press A and go to the left. You don't want to be taking your finger off that button to press Q. And also, it's just way easier to use your mouse to block and use abilities. So yeah, use mouse 1 and mouse 2, don't click F and Q. Tip number 9 is have a good camera angle. I typically like to zoom out about this far, and I usually want to be looking a little bit down, because if I'm looking like this and the ball's coming right at me, my character's blocking the ball and I won't be able to see it. So I usually want to run my camera angle a little bit like this, but you always have to keep your eye on the ball. The only downside to having your camera angle a little bit down is that people will hit the ball way up in the air. So you want to keep your eye on the ball, and if you see somebody hit it in the air and it's red, then you need to instantly look up and swing before the ball gets to you. And then tip number 10 is buy abilities before buying skins. These swords and these explosions are cool and all, but they're 100% cosmetic. There's not a single sword or explosion or anything that gives you an actual advantage. Okay, so now that we ran through the 10 tips, the 10 main tips, we're gonna actually play a game, and I'll give you guys some other small tips when they come up. There's a lot of specific situations that you don't see often, and it'll definitely catch you off guard. All right, ball's coming from me. I'm going to want to stay away from people and don't be near the center. And also, I can just show you guys a little tip. If I hit it up in the air, like I said, you don't have to be looking at the ball, but I put a big curve on the ball. So it makes it a little bit harder to predict if you're curving the ball. People just aren't going to react in time a lot more often. And like I said, the nearest person you're aiming at is usually where the ball will go. Yeah, I'm going to stay away from these guys because if one of the guys right next to me turns towards me and hits the ball, they're going to hit it into me super fast from like 5 feet away, and obviously I'll have no time to react. Also, unless you're in a standoff, if somebody's rushing into you and you're hitting the ball back and forth really quick, just keep the timing of hitting the ball back and forth, and you can just turn some other direction and hit it. And then the ball will go for someone else. Let me try to get the ball to come at me, because this is the most asked question by far. How does your block reset instantly? And mine takes a full second. If you hit the ball, your block instantly resets. And also, I can hit the ball like way back here. Like, look, the ball's coming at me, it's halfway here. I can hit block before the ball gets to me. Oh, also, I like to have an ability that's pretty much like a second block. A lot of the abilities are kind of like that. But if I get baited and I lose my block, oh, like that. He hit the ball into the other guy, and I thought it was coming at me, so I used my block. So if the ball did come back at me, it's a good thing that my ability is pretty much a second block. It just hits the ball way faster. That's why I like to use Raging Deflect, but it's all preference. Yeah, that guy just jumped right into me and hit the ball back before I could even react. That's another way to win 1v1s. You can change the timing of the ball going back and forth, depending on how close you are to someone. So if you're using, like, the dash ability or something, or the wind running ability where you go super fast and you can jump super high, you can definitely mess with people's heads and run way behind them, jump over their head, or hit the ball straight up, and then they have a huge curveball. Here, let's get some people out, and I'll try to show you guys in another 1v1. The ball's coming at me. See, if I just look up in the air, I curved the ball, like, over some people's heads, and it hit that other guy. That guy had his back turned to the ball. Always keep your eye on the ball. The only time you should be turning your back on the ball is if it's coming at you and you're trying to do a trick play and hit somebody behind you. Like if the ball is coming at you and you got the timing down good and you want to do a trick play and swing it at somebody behind you, that's like the only time you should look away from the ball. Oh, dang. I was trying to hit the ball up in the air and I didn't click soon enough. But yeah, I'll just go over the 10 tips one more time real quick. Number 1, block before the ball gets to you. In some situations, you want to block as soon as the other person's hitting the ball, if the ball's going fast enough and you guys are close enough together, because you can block a pretty good time before the ball hits you. Number 2, use good abilities. Number 3, you can aim in different directions to curve the ball or hit it to somebody else. Number 4, stay away from people. You don't want them to hit the ball into you when they're only a couple feet away. You'll have no time to react. Number 5, don't stand in the middle. Number 6, do your quests, join the group, and use codes. Number 7, don't back away from the ball when it's going slow and accidentally bait out your own block and then just get hit by the ball. Number 8, use shift lock and use mouse 1 and 2 to block and to use your abilities. It's just way better when you're in shift lock and you're using mouse 1 and 2. Number 9, have a good camera angle. You want to always be able to see the ball. Like, look, I'm going to hit the ball really fast behind me with my raging deflect ability, and I just took that guy out easy. He had no clue that the ball was going to him because I just flicked it up in the air. Like, if I turn to the side, I can put a curve on the ball. So I'm gonna win this game real quick. Let me quit explaining and just try to win. We got 3 other people here. Okay, that guy got taken out, and that other guy just went invisible. It's kind of smart. He wants us to get in a 1v1, and he wants to stay out of it. Yeah, that guy just tried to dash into me. But, like, look, as soon as he hits the ball, I'm going to block. Just so that I don't block too late. Because when the ball's going this fast and we're this close to each other... Oh, I just baited out my own block because he... Oh, man. I baited out my own block because he hit it to the other guy and I thought it was going to come back to me. You can really catch people off guard by doing stuff like that. And I'm not a pro at this game yet, but I've been practicing quite a bit, and I've talked to some pros that are on the top 10 of the leaderboard, and that's where I got a lot of these tips from. So I know I just lost that game, but my tips are reliable, I promise. And I think I was about to finish my 10 tips once again, just repeating them, and then I got into that showdown. But yeah, the last tip, use money on abilities before skins. Skins look cool and all, but it's way better to have good abilities, I promise. Oh yeah, another little tip is close the leaderboard in the top right and close the chat in the top left. They block like half your screen. That's half the reason that I zoom out, is so that I can see more of the map at once in case the ball's flying really fast and it's coming at me. Just close the leaderboard and close the chat. It's just a distraction and it blocks half your screen. It literally gives you a disadvantage. But yeah, the ball's coming at me. I can block way back here. Block before the ball gets to you. You don't want to be trying to click the ball right when it's on you. You will fail, like, at least half of the time. Alright, let me actually try to win a game here. Let me quit talking and just focus up. Well, actually, I don't really need to focus much yet. There's still a lot of people alive. But yeah, I'm gonna keep my distance from people so that the ball doesn't get hit into me from like 5 feet away and I have no time to react. Also, if you're trying to get as many wins as possible, don't just jump into fights. Like, just let these guys do their thing until one of them gets out. Okay, that other guy just went invisible, so it's just me and this guy right now. And when the ball's going really slow like this, make sure if you're gonna back up, you got the timing correctly. Because if the ball's going really slow and you block early while you're backing up, your block will just run out right before you can get the ball. So yeah, let me try to win this 1v1 real quick. I'm gonna get really close to him. Oh, dang, man. I tried. Oh, wait. I'm playing against Skeleton here. No wonder he beat me. Yeah, this is one of the guys on the top of the leaderboard. 3,000 wins. No wonder he beat me. I held up for a little while, though. I was about to say, that guy was pretty good. He did not fall for it whenever I jumped in his face. He instantly started clicking faster. All right, I gotta get a win in this video. How am I gonna give you guys pro tips and not win? Dink! That guy didn't expect the ball to come back so fast. All right. Yeah, I almost got that Kai guy out. The ball was coming to me from the left. Wait, hold on. What? Yeah, like I was saying, that ball was coming at me from the left, and right when it was about to hit me, I just flicked around and hit it to the guy that was right next to me. But that guy was actually able to react in time. I didn't think that he would, but he was ready. So unless you're playing against pros, a trick like that will usually work, where you can just look the other way right when the ball's about to hit you and hit the ball at somebody else that's not expecting it. Okay, the skeleton guy won again. No surprise there. If I can beat this guy, it's actually, like, kind of an accomplishment. This guy has 3.4 thousand wins. Like, I'm pretty good at the game, but that guy is just, he just plays all day. I don't know. No matter how many tips and tricks you know, it's just hard to beat experience like that. He's probably been in thousands of 1v1s, like we were just in a minute ago. Whoa, why is the ball going that way? What? I tried to hit a raging deflect shot behind me, and the guy that was right next to me instantly hit the ball directly back into me when I wasn't looking. Yeah, you just gotta watch out for stuff like that. You gotta stay away from people, or they'll just hit the ball right into you before you even have any time to react. I thought that's what I was doing to that guy, but he just knew that it was coming. So yeah, even though I didn't win, I got some pros in my server, and they're using the same exact tips that I told you guys about, like flicking the ball into somebody right next to you. You just gotta watch out for that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If these tips helped you out, make sure to hit the like button, comment some ideas for more future videos down below, and subscribe if you have not already. It's a pretty simple game, but if you implement all these tips that I gathered from a couple pros, you should get better super quick, because it's not that hard to get good at this game, but it is kind of hard to get really good at the game. And the final tip I will give you guys is just playtime, because I'm using all the same tips these pros are in my server, but they're just pros with like tens and tens of hours on the game, so they got the timing down perfect. So yeah, I guess there's tip number 11, you just gotta play the game to get good. Dang! Yeah, that's why you don't stand right next to somebody. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you all in the next one very soon. Peace out, everybody.